guys, today's video is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette video, and we're going to use the ice cream palette from Glamlite. You guys were so excited when I got this in my first impression video, and so many of you said you wanted to see more looks, so that's what we're going to do. And this palette is just so beautiful. I'm so excited to play more with this. I even have a plan for today's look, which is unheard of. So we're just gonna jump straight in because why not, right? I don't feel like I really need to ramble in the beginning of this video because I don't really have anything else to say. So I'm going to start by priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. Glamlite did send me this palette, just FYI, if you missed my first impression video, I will have that linked in the corner if you want to go check it out. I'm really happy with the look that I did in that video. They also sent me their lashes and some other things. I don't think I want to use any lashes for today's look because I do plan on filming something else after, and I am just not that confident in my lash application to risk, you know, doing it before I'm going to film something else, because I know there's a chance that I'm going to ruin the look if I try to put on lashes, so we're not going to do that today. So the plan for today's look is I just want this to be like a very pretty look. Like, this is something that I would do going out for a date night or something like that. So I want to play like up in this corner here. I want to use these 3 shades in my crease. I'm not sure what I want to do on my lid. I'm kind of thinking I want to do the green, since I'm wearing kind of like a pink and green necklace. Maybe that could look kind of cool together. So let's just go ahead and start off with the crease. So I'm going to start going light to dark today because I do find Glamlite shadows to be quite buildable, so I'm not really too worried about them not building. So I'm going to start by taking the shade here on my refer number 14. This one is called Red Velvet. And I'm just going to put this into my crease, you know, like you would when you're starting off a look. This isn't going to be anything fancy at all. I'm just going to blend this out quite high here, and then we're going to go in with a deepening shade. I'm also going to take this underneath my eye, so a very basic eyeshadow look, but that's okay sometimes. You don't always have to do something really fancy, and I've found that most of the looks that I've seen with this palette, especially like on Instagram, they're all like Instagram looks. You know what I mean when I say that, right? Like a lot of cut creases, a lot of just very fancy like graphic stuff, and I just want to show you that you don't necessarily need to do that if you get this palette. Like, it's totally fine to just do like simpler looks or like more wearable. Wearable is probably not the right word, but like doable. I guess doable is more like the word that I'm looking for. So like I said, just gonna build this up in my crease as well as underneath my eye. I am going to blow this out quite a bit, but that's just because that's what I like on my eye shape. Next up, to deepen this up with, I'm gonna go into the shade here called Black Cherry. And I have to be honest, this is the first time I've had a Glamlite palette, and I'm scared to put it into my ranking video because there's a chance it might not win. Not because it's not great, but because I have another palette that's actually a contender. Like, I think in every other ranking, my last 10 palettes videos that I've done where I've had a Glamlite palette in it, Glamlite has always ended up on top, and it hasn't even really been like a tough decision. But this time I'm like, oh my god, this ranking is going to be so tough because I've tried a lot of really good palettes lately, and it's going to be really interesting to see like how they stack up against each other, because some of these palettes that I've tried have just been amazing. And I mean, I'm sure I'm going to end up putting this very, very, very high up, and it still might win, but it's going to be a lot harder for me to actually decide this time. So I'm a little bit terrified. I mean, look at this color. It's just so beautiful. It goes on so smoothly. It just blends so well. It's so pigmented. Oh, I just love Glamlite's mattes. They're so nice. I am going to take this all the way through my crease and just deepen this up all the way. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this dark brown and just put in the very outer corner. But honestly, this shade is going a lot deeper than I really expected it to. So I wouldn't necessarily have to do that, but I do want to just test it out so I can try out as many shades as I can in this video. This looks so good. Not that I was expecting anything less, but I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade here called Chocolate. Just gonna put that in the very outer corner of my eye. Just wanna see like how deep I can really get this palette. And I also love using browns in conjunction with these kind of berry tones, especially as a deepening shade. I just think it looks so good. Like I said, just gonna put it in the very outer corner of my eye. I'm not gonna take it through my crease, but I am going to gently blend it into my crease here so that when my eye is open, I can still see a little bit of this coming up. And I'm also gonna take a little bit just on the outer portion of my lower lash line, just so I can kind of connect this. Beautiful, really like this. So let's take a look at these shimmers. Like I was saying, I am very tempted to use this green, but I don't know if I just want to use that green. I kind of want to have something like in between the brown and the green, so I'm thinking I could use a little bit of this bronze. Might be a little bit light though. I thought it was going to be darker. Now I'm a little bit torn. I'm just so tempted to use this though, because it is pretty. Not that I'm usually a fan of bronzes, but I want to use a little bit of that. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and put in, like I said, in between where I don't have any shadow, and like to blend it into my outer corner. And this is the shade called Salted Caramel. I am going to spray that with some Fix Plus because I just don't want to get any fallout. I could definitely use some glitter primer, but honestly, Glamlite's shimmers really don't need it. You could absolutely use it if you wanted to, but I do find that especially blending something into a matte, I don't want to have a lot of glitter primer down because sometimes the edges end up being a little bit rough. That is so pretty. Oh, look at how wet looking and shimmery and sparkly that is. That is my kind of shimmer if I've ever seen one. So I'm not going to take too much of this, like I said, just right in the middle of my lid, and I'm going to blend it into the outer corner shade. And then for the inner portion, I am going to put down a little bit of glitter primer just because I want to kind of make this into a bit of a faux cut crease in the beginning here. And I also want to just make sure that the green is going to be opaque enough that it's going to cover up like all of this pinky purple stuff that I have on my lid. So I just want this to be as intense as I am able to get this here. So I'm just putting down a glitter primer right in the beginning of my lid where I want this shadow to go. And then with the same brush, I'm going to go into the shade called Birthday Cake. Actually, now that I think of it, I actually used that in my first look. Did I just say actually 3 times in the same sentence? I think I did. Do I want to use anything else? I really was not thinking about that. I can't believe that. Do I want to use anything else before my glitter dries? Think fast. I don't know what I want to do. I'm just going to use the green. I just think it's going to go so good with this look. I'm sorry. I promise I'll use a different shade in my next look. But this is just going to be perfect. Oh, I just love this color so much. It is beautiful. Like I said, I'm going to make this into a bit of a faux half cut crease here just in the beginning. Just going to blend that into the bronze shade. I feel like this bronze shade has a bit of a kind of pink shift to it. It's really, really pretty. So I am going to put something lighter right in the middle of my, why did I say in the middle? Right in my inner corner. But I do also want to put like a little bit of sparkle down on my lower lash line. So I'm thinking one of these pinks would look really pretty. Either this one or this one. Probably, they would both look really pretty, but I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to take this shade here, which is Rainbow Sherbet. I can never say that word for the life of me. Gonna spray this as well, and I'm just gonna pop that in the front portion of my lower lash line. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish my eyes and the rest of my face, and then I'll come back and we can put whatever highlighter I decide to use on my face in my inner corner, just so we can tie it all together. Alright, so the look is done. Everything on my face will be listed down in my description box if you want to know what I'm wearing. For my highlighter, I want to take one of my Bitter Lace Beauty highlighters, and I have this one right here, which is really cool. It's almost like a pink to green shift, and I think that would look really fun like in my inner corner as well as on my face. This is in the shade Watermelon Whip, and I actually got a code with Bitter Lace Beauty now. It's not an affiliate code, but this is the first code that they've ever given out, so super exciting. If you guys wanted to test any of these out, you can get a 15% discount if you use the code Annette15 it is. I will have it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I think that's what my code is. Sometimes it's so hard to like remember what the different codes are. But let's go ahead and start on the face. So I absolutely love this brand. You guys have probably seen me use so much of their stuff because they sent me a huge package when I made an order last time, and that was so unexpected. I did not see that coming at all because I hadn't like asked me at all. And I've just been obsessed with their highlighters really ever since I tried them. They are just so beautiful and so unique, and I just love the formula of them. They're great as inner corner shades and stuff too, so I'm just obsessed. I don't know what else to say. I love them so much. Gonna spray this and put some of this in my inner corner as well. I might even put a little bit of it on my brow bone just to bring this in everywhere. This is just such a fun color. I feel like this is gonna go really nice with the eyes. So I think that's going to be it. I really like this look. I think it's really, really pretty. I love the color combination. The shadows perform like a dream. So I think we should go ahead and do another look. I definitely want to do something with like the blues as well. And a lot of you said you wanted to see a color combo between the periwinkle and the mint, which could be really fun. So maybe we'll do something like that. But yeah, I'm really excited. Let's just go ahead and do look number 2. All right, look 2. So I wanted today do something with the mint chocolate and the Cookie Monster, which is these 2 shades right here. I don't remember what I said in my first impression or my first look. It's been a couple of days and I feel like I refer to wanting to do something with those shades in that look. So that's what we're gonna do. So I think I'm just gonna do another 2-tone look. I don't know, I feel like I did the same thing in my first impression video, but when I look at this palette, like that's just kind of how I want to use these shadows kind of next to each other instead of like blending them too much. I don't know, that's just kind of how I work with like these mid-tones kind of mattes, especially because there aren't really a lot of deepening shades to any of these colorful shades here. Like you can either use the yellow as a transition shade to like some of these greens and oranges, but you can't really use a yellow as a transition to a purple. So you really only have like the pinks to go with the purples. So I don't know, I feel like there's just more that you can do if you just place them next to each other instead of trying to get like a gradient, because there just aren't that many things that you can like use as a gradient, if that makes sense. Obviously you can go in with some of these darker like browns and stuff, but I don't really love mixing browns with color. So I just want to do like a 2-tone crease again because like I said, it's just kind of what I'm feeling. So I'm going to use this in my inner portion of my crease. This one is called Mint Chocolate. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start packing this on where it is that I want it to be. So when I was looking back at my first look, honestly, I wasn't really that happy with it. Like I was really happy with it when I was doing it, but when I look back at the footage, I was like, it kind of looks a little bit weird with that green. I don't know. So I thought about scratching it and just starting over again today with like look number 1. But on the other hand, I'm also like, I don't know, I think it's important to show that I'm not always happy with my makeup either, you know, like I'm sure that happens to all of us. And even though I know a lot of you like these videos for inspiration and you like to recreate my looks, like sometimes I think it's just important to show like the looks that I maybe end up not liking too. I don't know, let me know how you feel about that. Like, would you rather these videos be looks that I'm like really happy with, that you feel like you can take inspiration from, or do you really not care what the looks are like and you just like watching my videos anyway? Because I know a lot of you are like that too. I would love to hear your thoughts, because sometimes I do looks that I'm just not really that happy with after the fact, but while I'm doing them, like I like them. I don't know, there's something about like looking back at pictures and looking back at the footage, you kind of get like a different view of what a look really looks like than you do when you're actually doing it. At least I feel that way. So we are actually going out tonight. I feel like every time someone says that they're going out, I'm always a little bit judgy. I'm like, where are you going? We're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm gonna go in with Cookie Monster and put that in the outer portion of my crease. But we are going out to that same place that my husband and I has been going out to so much lately. He's a member of a golf club. I know I mentioned it in the past, but they have a really nice restaurant with outdoor seating and stuff. And so we're gonna go for another date night, and I'm really excited because I think it's going to be really fun and they have really good food. And so I haven't decided what I'm gonna wear yet. So I'm just wearing like my Star Wars t-shirt. Please don't look at that because trust me, this is not what I'm going to be wearing. It's probably not gonna go with this look anyway, but I figured I would do my makeup first today. Usually when we go out, I tend to pick my outfit first and then I kind of match my makeup to my outfit. But since I just don't really know what I'm gonna wear, I figured I would just like, I don't know, wear a black dress or something, because that's gonna go with anything. These colors are so beautiful. They're blending together like a dream. And I've already made this video way longer than it needs to be because I cannot stop talking sometimes. Gonna take this color around down to my lower lash line as well. Really like the tone of this. It's such a beautiful periwinkle shade. So beautiful. I do wish that there was something I could deepen this up with, but I don't really think I have any options for that. Just going back into the mint chocolate shade, and I'm gonna put that in the inner portion of my lower lash line as well. Just gonna go over the edges and blend a little bit more before we put on a lid shade. I haven't yet decided what I want to do, but I'm thinking maybe I just want to use like one shade on my lid. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to take a look and see if there's anything that kind of goes with these colors. I might be able to take a little bit of Honey Lavender, which is this purple. It might be a little bit too light to add any depth, but I want to try. I don't really like using shimmers in my outer corner, so I do want to just see if I'm able to get a little bit more dimension, but I don't really think I'll be able to, since this is almost of the same depth as that periwinkle, but it does add a little bit of a different color at least, which could be pretty too. I might take a little bit of a shimmer just to layer over that purple, not because I don't like the way it looks, but just because I feel like it's going to deepen it up a little bit. I'm gonna grab the shade right here, which is not the same formula as some of these other ones. This one is a little bit more like less textured, and I think that this is just going to kind of blend into my crease a little bit better. So I'm gonna take this on the same brush that I was just using. This is from Sigma, it's the E27. I'm gonna spray that a little bit because I do want this to be nice and intense. And like I said, I'm just gonna take that on the outer portion of my lid, and I'm also going to blend it into my crease a little bit here. I don't want this too high up, but I do feel like this is adding just a little bit of like extra something that I feel like I needed on the outer corner of my eye. So I'm taking this quite far onto my lid because I want to go in with a lighter shade, and when I mix these two together, I kind of want to have a bit of a diagonal line here. I just want to make sure that the transition is going to look nice between the two shimmers. And I think the shimmer that I want to use is going to be the lightest one in the palette here, because there really aren't that many. What about this one? Could that look pretty? That actually could look quite nice. I was thinking I wanted to use a little bit of this on the front portion, like that would look really, really nice. But what if I take a little bit of this and then I kind of layer that shimmer shade on top of that one? I think that could be fun. So I do want to try this blue, so I might as well do it now. This is called Cotton Candy. I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this too. I'm just feeling lazy today. It's just one of those days where I don't feel like doing extra steps. You ever have a day like that? You're like, nah, I just can't be bothered. I'm just gonna go in with this the way it is right now. And I mean, it's gonna look great still because Glamlite shimmers always do. Like I said, I'm gonna blend that into the purple shade and kind of drag it over. I'm not sure if I'm gonna layer that lighter shimmer all the way over the shade, but I might, because I do want this to be kind of like a lighter look. But these two are blending beautifully in together. That is so cute. I don't know, I just love two-tone eyes. And if you haven't tried that before, it's such an easy way to do, I don't know, just something a little bit different, but still fun and still really, really easy. So would highly recommend you're trying to do like a two-tone crease, because it just, I don't know, it's just different. And you also get to see now how these shimmers apply when you don't use a glitter primer. They're definitely less textured. If you don't like that very textured look and very opaque look, you probably would like just spraying them a little bit better, because it does smooth them out. But I just love their shimmer formula. I just think it looks so pretty. This is so cute. Do I have anything blue and purple I can wear tonight? Not sure if I do. I might have to take a look in my closet after. I'm also gonna put a little bit of that blue shimmer on my lower lash line as well. I've just really been enjoying doing that. Just gonna kind of layer that in the front portion here, and then gonna find something to pop in my inner corner after. And by something, I mean that shade that I was talking about earlier that I was going to use on my lid. So I'm gonna grab this one, which is called French Vanilla. And I'm gonna start with it in my inner corner and see kind of how far I want to blend this out, or if I just want to have a little bit of a pop in my inner corner, or if I want to lighten up my lid a little bit too. This really is such a pretty shade though. It's just gonna go with everything in this palette. I really like how transformative this can be. Like, I feel like this color could be layered over the top of basically any matte or any shimmer to lighten it up, but still kind of keep the color, because this isn't a super opaque formula. It's definitely more of a topper, and I feel like this is, why do I have like an eye booger? I feel like this is literally like the perfect color to transform something with. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that just onto my lid as well. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I really like this. It's so simple, but it's so cute at the same time. I really like this color combo. Gonna finish off my eyes. I'll be right back and I will show you what I did. And this is what we are looking like when the look is all done. I really like this look. I like this look more than I like the first one. I feel like this look kind of encompasses, is that the right word for what I'm trying to say? I feel like this is kind of like what the palette wants me to do. This is like the vibe that I'm getting from the palette. It's like a very soft, pastel-y, cute look. I really like it. To finish off, I used a eyeliner from Lethal in my waterline. This is in the shade Reverb. And then, let's see, what else did I do? I used one of my new Bitter Lace Beauty highlighters. I ordered 2 new ones from the, what are these called? These are the Kaleidoscope Glow Highlighters. They are my absolute favorites. I have 5 of them in here, all of these kind of iridescent ones. I use this one, and it's kind of like a lavender. It is the cutest thing ever. Literally just dug my finger into it. It's just one of those days. It's in the shade Whimsical. It is so cute. I absolutely love it. For lips, I used a lipstick from KVD Vegan Beauty. It's in the shade Ludwig. And then on top, I used a lip gloss from the Ice Cream collection from Glamlite. This is in the shade Sweet Fudge. Am I crazy, or does this look kind of blue on the lips? Like, I feel like there's like small blue particles in it, but I'm not really sure. But I'm not mad at it because it kind of goes with my look. But when I put it on, I was like, really? That's interesting. But yeah, that's gonna be the second look. I can't wait to do another one. I'm having so much fun with this palette, so let's just go ahead and do look number 3. Alright, so it's time for the last look, and I do want to quickly mention one thing. Muse Beauty came out with lip liners, and I just tried one today, and I gotta say, I really like this. Obviously, I have a gloss over the top, but this color is so beautiful. Unfortunately, I cannot give you the name of it because it's not on the pen for some reason. I was looking for it and I'm like, where's the name? But I guess the name is on the packaging. So I got 6 of these and I just took them all out. So I don't know which one went in which one. That's kind of weird. So can't tell you the name, but I really like the formula of these lip liners, if you were wondering. Not that anyone asked, but for today's look, I want to do actually a 2-tone eye, not like in the way that I did before, but I want to do like one eye one color, one eye the other color, and they kind of flip underneath my eyes. So I want to play with some of these pinks here as well as the teals. So I want to do like one pink eye. I want to do one pink eye and one teal or kind of aqua eye. I think that could be really fun. And that way I also get to test out some of these shimmers. So let's go ahead and start with the pink one. So I'm going to use the shade here called Mochi as my transition shade. So I guess we'll do this as the pink eye because that's just kind of, I don't know, it's just what happened. That's just what we're rolling with. Like I said, this is going to be my transition shade. If you can see my eyeshadow primer creasing, it's because it is, but it's fine because I'm gonna use shimmers on the lid anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So this is definitely a very, very pastel color. It's super light. It's very much like a baby pink. Super cute color though. So far, I'm having a really good time with this palette. My only complaints, should I save this for the end of the video? Let's do that because I don't want to ramble on too much during the looks because they tend to take forever anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically, like I said, use this as a transition shade on this eye, and then I'm also going to take the shade underneath on this eye. And I'm gonna take these shadows up very high because I'm also kind of toying around with the idea of doing some kind of a graphic liner, but if I do that, I need to make sure that I still have, I dropped my brush. The brush just fell out of my hand. But I want to make sure if I do a graphic liner that I still end up having shadow like above where the liner is, because if I do a liner, the liner needs to be very high up because of my hooded eyes, which story of my life. But this is really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the shade here called Mint Chocolate on this eye. And then I'm going to flip the colors. I am going to prime just a little bit under my eye because I really want these shadows to pop. And this is really only a step I like to do with pastel shadows because most other shadows tend to not have an issue underneath my eye. But with pastels, they don't pop as much if you don't have a tacky base. So like I said, gonna go in with Mint Chocolate on this side on top and on the bottom, and I'm also going to take the pink underneath my eye on this side.
It was all a big mistake, never meant to miss the date. I was caught up with my friends, I forgot that we had plans. So the roses on the floor and found the champagne by the door. All my favorite things, they were there.
So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and deepen up both of these sides. So on this side, I'm going to use the shade called Green Tea. And then on this side, I want to find something of the same depth as this one. So I'm thinking a mixture of these two possibly, just so I can get like the same depth on both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of speed this up so you can see what I'm doing still.
For you were gone. Now I'm here all alone, and I really wish you'd just pick up your phone. Called you like 1,000 times, you saw my name and hit decline. Pick up, pick up. Told you once, I'll tell you twice, baby, I apologize. So pick up, your life.
So I think this looks really cute. I'm super excited to see like the end result of this look, assuming that I get my my graphic liner right. Otherwise this is gonna be such a fail. Let's see, what do I want to do on my lid? My only, I don't know, question now is because I don't have like the same colors in shimmers. I do have pinks, but I don't really have like teals. Could I maybe like mix these on my finger? Would that be weird? Oh, look at that. See those two colors? Okay, that's so cute. That's what I'm gonna do. Wow, I did not know I could do that. So on this eye, I'm gonna mix these two colors, and then on this eye, I'm gonna use probably this one on its own. I am going to put down a little bit of glitter primer though, because I really want these to pop. So let's do this eye first with the pink. I'm just gonna pop the glitter primer basically all over my lid. Just to leave a little bit of room on the outer corner so that I can blend it out. I am also going to take this shimmer quite high up. I'm gonna grab the shimmer that was called Strawberry. I feel like this is gonna be so beautiful. So I'm just gonna pop that right over the top of my glitter primer. Basically all over my lid. I'll probably put a little bit of that very light shimmer in my very inner corner when I'm done, but I do want these to be like kind of monochromatic. And since I am going to do that graphic liner in my crease, it doesn't really matter if I put some shimmer in my crease as well, because that liner is going to go over it anyway. And I'm going to grab a different brush here just so I don't get any of the pink on the other side. First going to go in with the glitter primer. Just going to do the exact same thing that I did on the other side. And then I guess I will start with a blue and layer the green over the top. And just get a small layer of that green. So first going to dip into the shade Cotton Candy, which I feel like I have used a lot already. So this is going to be like the base shade. So I'm then going to go in on the other side of my brush and grab a little bit of the green. Like I don't want a lot of this. I just want to gently sweep this over to kind of change the color of that blue that I have underneath here. I'm just going to really rub those two colors in together and hopefully make a bit of a kind of aqua tealy color to match my crease. Kind of flipping both sides of my brush here to make sure that these are nice and mixed. But I think I like that. I think that looks really, really cute. So I guess I am at the liner part already. Man, that is so scary because I feel like I'm just going, oh, I almost went in with this brush on this side. Such a habit. Let's see. I think I want to do a white liner. Is that what I want to do? I feel like it's the only kind of color that's going to go on both eyes. And I'm going to use my Lethal eyeliner. This is the eyeliner in the shade Buffer. This is one of their gel liners. These tend to be very, very creamy, and it's pretty easy for me to use these as like graphic liners. I have noticed that some of my colors have kind of dried up a little bit from when I first bought them, but I feel like that's pretty common when it comes to gel liner. So I'm just going to scrape some on the back of my hand here because it's going to be a little bit easier for me to pick up with a small brush. So I'm going to use this is a paintbrush that I got on Amazon. It's very nice and precise. If you guys know of any like real makeup brushes that are meant to do like graphic liner work, let me know and I would love to pick up one because I do feel like these are a little bit flimsy. I'm going to use this one because it's a lot smaller. So I'm basically just going to do a whole line all the way through my crease and kind of end up in like a wing shape on the outer corner. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to talk while I do this, but hopefully my mirror won't be so in the way that you don't see what I'm doing. But if it is, I apologize, but I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and try to get these to be even on both sides. Wish me luck. So I don't think they are even at all, but as per usual, I'm sure it looks better on camera than it does in real life because sometimes when you look at it from far apart and you don't overanalyze it, it looks a lot better. So I think I'm gonna try to finish off my eyes. Do I want to go over this liner with something else? I don't know. I feel like it's looking a little bit rough, but maybe I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll finesse it a little bit. Maybe I'll put some, I don't even know what I would do to fix this, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes. Hopefully by the time I'm done, it's gonna look a little bit better. Okay, so this is where we're at. If it's looking like I'm wearing a lot of blush, it's because I'm wearing a lot of blush. I tried the Arthurine blush palette from Menagerie for the first time today. I got this in the mail yesterday. They did send me this in PR, and this palette is just oh so cute, but fair warning, it's very pigmented. Very, very pigmented. If you don't like a lot of blush, don't get this palette unless you want to use them as eyeshadows. I mixed these two today, and mostly I just used this one, but I used a little bit of both, and I had to really go over it like with my powder brush to really buff this in. But I do think it looks really cute, and I do like a lot of blush, so I'm not mad at it. But this palette is just the cutest thing ever. This bear is, it's giving me life. I love it. Let's see, what else did I do? I just kept on the same lip product. I'm not sure if I like the look of this. Oh, I also did a lot of other things. Let me fill you in real quick. I took a little bit of this Steel Little White Lies. This is in the shade Mint Myth, and I kind of went over the white because I felt like the white was looking a little bit cracked, and I think that this kind of pulled it together. I mean, it's obviously not even still because there wasn't really anything I could do about that. Once you put on the liner and it's not even, you're just screwed and you just have to roll with it. So I think it kind of came together in the end. Like, I do like this look. It's not my favorite look I've ever done, but I do think it looks kind of cute. What else did I do? I did do some stuff in my waterline. I used two different liners. I can't find the other one. I used Zulu by Colourpop on this eye, and then on this eye I used one from Fenty. This is in the shade Cute Thing. So I think that's all. Oh, actually for my highlighter, man, I did a lot of stuff off camera today, but if I were to do all these things on camera every single time, especially in a 3-look video, we'd be here forever. So I used another highlighter from Bitter Lace Beauty. This is in the shade Luster. It's another one of the Kaleidoscope Glow highlighters. These are just so beautiful. I just cannot get enough of them. And every time I open this palette, it just smells like candy. It smells so good. If you don't like scented makeup, don't buy these, but if you do, you would probably love them. So that's gonna be the end of the looks. Let's talk a little bit more about this palette. Oh, and I also put a little bit of this in my inner corner just to, you know, get a little bit of an extra pop. But I really like the quality of this. I think that these shadows performed really, really well. My only thing would be that I kind of wish that there were a little bit more kind of bronzy shimmers. Like, I feel like if you're gonna use any of these bronzy shimmers, they kind of have to go with the neutrals in this palette, or like the warmer tones. Like, they don't really go with any of these on the bottom here. Like, really, these 3 last rows, like the bronzes really just don't go with any of these colors, in my opinion anyway. So I feel like this is a neutral palette and it's a pastel palette. It's very hard to kind of mix the two together. So I do wish that there were a little bit less bronzes, because I just didn't find myself reaching for them since I didn't do a neutral crease at all, because I mean, that's not why I bought this palette, obviously, and I don't think that most people who buy this palette buy it for the neutral shades. So I kind of wish that there weren't so many of the shimmers that were like in that same family. And I also kind of wish that instead of that, they would have put in like maybe a dark blue matte or something like that. I just wish that there was something else that I could deepen up like some of these lighter pastels with. I do like having a little bit of depth, and I still feel like you can keep the feel of a pastel palette while still having depth in the palette, especially since all of the shimmers are really, really light, and I do like that a lot. I also wish that there was a blue in here, which I know we talked about earlier, but I don't know, that's just a personal preference thing. I feel like a blue matte in the kind of the same color as this blue shimmer would have kind of benefited, but I do think it's a beautiful palette. I really do like it. If I were to compare this formula to the other pastel palettes in my collection, like the Creepy Cute palette and the Pastel Pup from Menagerie, I would say that this is more similar to the Menagerie formula and the Creepy Cute palette by Shroud Cosmetics. It's a lot more pigmented upon first application. Like, that really gives you like bang pigment, whereas this one I feel like is a little bit more on the buildable side, but they build beautifully. I didn't have any problems with the shadows at all. I thought they performed really well. The shimmers are stunning. I mean, they are so beautiful and wet looking and shiny, and just, oh, I love them so much. So those would, like, I guess, be my thoughts. I mean, overall, I really like this palette. The only things that I nitpicked about is just the color selection, but that is nothing but personal preference and nothing against Glamlite at all, because like I said, I think the quality of this palette is amazing. I just kind of wish that the colors were a little bit different just because of what I like in my color stories. But I think that if you have this palette, you like this color story, you probably love it. If you've been thinking about getting it, you would probably love it as well, because it is a really, really nice palette. So yeah, thank you so much to Glamlite for sending me this palette. Thank you to you guys for watching. Let me know which look was your favorite. I would love to know. If you want to see some more 3-look videos I have on my channel, here's my playlist. And if you're new, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.